The Wind in the Willows. The Wild Wood. One winter's afternoon, when Rat was dozing in his armchair in front of the fire, Mole decided to go out by himself to explore the wild wood and meet Mr. Badger. Mole had long wanted to meet Badger, but whenever he mentioned his wish to Rat, Rat would say, "It's all right. Badger will turn up one day. It's no good asking him here because he wouldn't come. And we can't go to see him because he lives in the very middle of the wild wood. And we must never go to the wild wood." It was a cold, still afternoon, with a hard, steely sky overhead, when Mole slipped out of the warm parlour and set off towards the wild wood. There was nothing to alarm him at first. Twigs crackled under his feet, and logs tripped him up, but that was all fun and exciting. The path led him on until the light was less and trees crouched nearer and nearer. Everything was very still now. Then the faces began. It was over his shoulder that he first thought he saw a face, a little evil, wedge-shaped face, looking at him from a hole. But when he turned, the thing had vanished. He quickened his pace, telling himself cheerfully not to begin imagining things. He passed another hole, and another, and then, yes, a little narrow face with hard eyes flashed up for an instant from a hole, and was gone. Then suddenly, from every hole, far and near, were hundreds of faces, coming and going rapidly, all staring at him with malice and hatred. If he could only get away from the holes in the banks, he thought, there would be no more faces. He swung off the path and plunged into the untrodden places of the wood. Then the whistling began. Very faint and shrill it was at first, and far behind him. It made him hurry forward. Then it sounded far ahead of him, and then on either side, until it passed through the whole length of the wood. Mole was alone and unarmed, and far from any help, and night was closing in. He was terrified. Then the pattering began. He thought it was only falling leaves at first. Then as it grew louder, he knew it was the pat, pat, pat of little feet, still a very long way off. Was it in front or behind? It seemed to be first one, then the other, and seemed to be closing in on him. As he listened, a rabbit came running through the trees. "Get out of here, you fool! Get out!" The mole heard him mutter as he disappeared down a burrow. The whole wood seemed running now, running hard, hunting, chasing, closing in around something or somebody. In panic, Mole began to run too, aimlessly. He ran up against things. He fell over things and into things. He darted under things and dodged around things. At last he hid in the deep hollow of an old beech tree, and as he lay there, panting and trembling, and listening to the whistlings and the patterings outside, he knew why Rat had told him never to go and see Badger, to protect him from the terror of the wild wood. Meantime, Rat, warm and comfortable, dozed on. When he awoke, he looked round for Mole. "Moley! Moley!" But Mole was not there. Mole's cap was missing from its peg, and his galoshes were gone too. Rat left the house hoping to find Mole's tracks, and there they were, leading direct to the wild wood. Rat stood in deep thought for a moment or two. Then he re-entered the house, strapped a belt round his waist, shoved a brace of pistols into it, took up a stout cudgel, and set off. It was nearly dusk when he reached the first trees and plunged into the wood, looking anxiously on either side for any sign of his friend. Here and there, wicked little faces popped out of holes, but vanished at the sight of Rat's pistols and the great ugly cudgel in his hand. All was very still. He patiently hunted through the wood, calling, "Moley! Moley! Moley! Where are you, Moley? It's me! It's old Rat!" When at last he heard a little answering cry. "Ratty, is that you? Is that really you?" Rat crept into the hollow tree, and there he found Mole, exhausted and still trembling, Oh, Rat, I've been so frightened. You can't imagine. I quite understand. But you shouldn't really have gone and done it, Mole. I did warn you, didn't I? But never mind. We must pull ourselves together and make a start for home. It'll never do to spend the night here. Dear Ratty, I'm so dreadfully sorry, but I'm simply dead beat. You must let me rest here a while longer and get my strength back if I'm to get home at all. Oh, all right, said the good-natured Rat. Rest away. It's nearly dark now anyway. He went to the entrance of their retreat and put his head out. Then Mole heard him mumbling to himself. What's up, Ratty? Snow is up, or rather down. It's snowing hard. Well, it can't be helped. We must make a start and take our chance, I suppose. An hour or two later, they had lost all sense of time. They were dispirited and weary. The snow was getting so deep that they could hardly drag their little legs through it. Suddenly, Mole tripped up and fell forward on his face with a squeal. Oh, my leg! Oh, my poor shin! He sat up on the snow and nursed his leg in both his front paws. Poor old Mole. You don't seem to be having much luck today, do you? I must have tripped over a hidden branch or a stump, said Mole miserably. It's a very clean cut. That was never done by a branch or a stump. Looks as if it was made by a sharp edge of something metal. That's funny. And Rat began to scratch in the snow. Hooray! Hooray, 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 hooray! He cried. What have you found, Ratty? Come and see. Mole hobbled up to the spot and had a good look. Well, he said at last, I see it right enough. Seen the same sort of thing before, lots of times. It's only an ordinary door scraper. But don't you see what it means, you dull-witted animal? Of course I see what it means. It simply means that some very careless and forgetful person has left his door scraper lying about in the middle of the wild wood, just where it's sure to trip everybody up. Very thoughtless of him, I call it. When I get home, I shall go and complain about it to... Oh dear, cried Rat, shaking his head. Here, come and scrape. Hard at it went the two animals, until at last the result of their labour stood in full view of the astonished Mole. In the side of what had seemed to be a snowbank stood a solid-looking little door, painted dark green. An iron bell pull hung by the side, and below it, on a small brass plate, neatly engraved in square capital letters, they read with the aid of moonlight, Mr. Badger. Mole fell backwards in surprise. Rat, you're a wonder, a real wonder, that's what you are. Get up at once, said Rat impatiently. Now, hang on to that bell pull and ring hard, while I hammer. At last the door opened a few inches, just enough to show a long snout and a pair of sleepy, blinking eyes. Who is it this time, disturbing people on such a night? Speak up! Badger, cried Rat. Let us in, please. It's me, Rat, and my friend Mole. We've lost our way in the snow. Oh, Ratty, my dear little man, exclaimed Badger. Come along in, both of you, at once. Why, you must be perished. Well, I never. Lost in the snow, and in the wild wood, too, and at this time of night. Come in. Do come in. The kindly Badger thrust them down on a sofa to toast themselves in front of the fire, told them to remove their wet coats and boots, and gave them a wonderful supper. Then, tired but happy, the two sleepy travellers went off safely to bed.